I think we really get stuck in the old labels, and whether or not that's also, I don't know whose fault that is. I mean, sometimes I think it's the practitioner's fault too, and everybody wants to kind of jump on a labeled bandwagon and say, oh, I have this mystical knowledge and you don't have it, and it's arcane and occult, and if you come to me, I'll give you the secret, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And it's like,
right.
Hello, no, you know what? Guess what? This is something now that science is finding out that there's nothing mysterious or mystical about it at all. It's the fact that we just never understood it and never understood why. For example, when you talk about your motivational topics, and we bring an idea to the mind of the collective, and that why is that you're so popular? Why is it that you affect people? You, Steve. I mean, it's because when you have the critical mass of a collective group of people absorbing the same information, it affects change. And that's because we are entangled. And Dean Radin's work is, I think everybody should get that book, by the way, Entangled Minds by Dean Radin. It will really give a credible source for us all to understand why you and I can connect the way we do, why I can do my readings, why intention affects change in the world, why we are globally connected. There's a lot of this in that book, for example, that you and I end up talking about all the time.
And
Did I just go off on a tangent?
No, not at all. Can you say the name? A lot of people are asking the name of that book again.
Yes, it's called Entangled Minds, and it's by Dr. Dean Radin, and he's a member of the Institute of Noetic Sciences. It's funny, I've emailed him a gazillion times, like, hey, I really want to talk to you, and he doesn't ever answer my emails. I'm going to keep emailing him until he talks to me. But it's like, with me, it's like, as soon as I read a book that I think is amazing, I'll just call the author. I'm like, okay, listen, can you explain this to me?
That's so funny, because I do the same thing now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I ended up cornering Dr. Bruce Lipton, at a Hay House dinner, to try to explain to me why, because he has this awesome book called The Biology of Belief, which also everybody should get. You should actually have him on your show. He's scary fabulous. So I cornered him saying, can you explain this to me? He never met me before. I was like, hi, I'm Colette Baron Reid. Can you sit down and talk to me for a few minutes?
That's really funny. And, it's
Go
great
ahead.
to get the information. And when the people putting it out, especially those type of books I love. That's the scientific approach. Some of like a Greg Braden's type work.
Greg's a good friend. Yeah.
Greg's, amazing. He lays it out in a way. Sometimes he lays it out in a way that you're a little bit like, because he gets deep. You know what I mean?
I know. But I've actually had to ask him to explain some of his stuff sometimes. But
right. You read a chapter and you end up cross-eyed, but it's good stuff. And if you can understand it, because I feel that my gift is, if I can understand something, I can then break it down to help anybody understand it. And I totally get what you're saying. Colette, I have to go to feedback or someone's going to shoot me.
Sure.
So
let's
start. Let's start in Canada today. Guy or Guy Lebrun, Montreal, Canada. Colette, I love your books, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to ask you a question. My question is about spirit guides. How often do you outgrow your guides and get new ones, or do you ever outgrow them?
What a fascinating question, and I have no idea. But I have a theory. I always, when I know something, I'll say I know it, and when I don't 100% know it, I'll say really it's a theory, because that's the first time anybody's ever asked me that, and I have queried that myself. Because why would we not, right? Like, would we not have, that we have to assume that a spirit guide or a guide has more knowledge than us. That's why there are guides, right? But then if you ask a question, if you outgrow a guide, does that mean that you no longer need to learn from that guide? I don't know. I mean, I've sort of felt the same presence around me for a long time, and I've never seen it change. Although I've seen additives, like I've felt another presence that is different, but it's not doesn't leave the other one behind. But how about this? I don't know.
You know what?
Do you know, Steve?
I have no idea.
No, me neither.
I don't even know what spirit guides are. I don't.
Let's start there. How about that?
Yeah, I don't even know what they are.
Here's the thing. I mean, there's an idea, and there's certainly many mystical traditions that believe that there are beings, or there are energies or intelligences, right, that choose to guide each individual, or we can align with a particular guide. It's used very loosely in the New Age, I think. I think a lot of people say, "Oh, my guides told me, my guides." And when I started working with Sylvia Browne, she talks that she has somebody named Francine. Now, I thought maybe I should better get one, because I never ever cared whether or not they had names or what they were. I just prayed and meditated and asked for a higher guidance, and many times I felt a slight personality or a resonance around me. And, anyway, so I've always sat on the fence about the idea about guides because I cannot define them. On the other hand, I do believe that it is very possible. I mean, I certainly pray to a higher power. I certainly pray or I ask for guidance from a higher source, a more intelligent force than me. So I do adhere to the idea that we have guides, but are they people? I don't know. I had mine. I did this prayer. I thought maybe I was going to get Buddha, because I heard one of the other Hay House authors said she channels the Ascended Masters, right? And I'm going, wow, she does? Like, well, wait a minute. Maybe I should get Jesus or somebody, right?
Nice.
So, well, or at least Buddha. And anyway, so I meditated. Nothing happened. I'm thinking, well, hello, excuse me, or to Colette. It's like, I need a spirit guide. Anyway, I didn't hear a thing, but I swear to God, cross my heart and hope to die, I heard loud as anything, a voice in my house that went, Ollie. I can't believe it. I'm like going, what, Stan and Ollie? I got a comedian for a spirit guide. Like I'm thinking, or maybe it means all-powerful or all-knowing, and then I heard, I swear to God, then I heard this in my head, not outside, but I heard it like a complete different voice than mine. So I went, nope, just Ollie. And ever since then, I make jokes about my spirit guide that I think is passive-aggressive, and I make jokes about him maybe being gay because he's got great shopping karma. I don't know. But, the thing is, none of us really know. We really know?
Or what who they are in the sense, like you had said, is it someone who it's their punishment that they have to help you, or is it part of their learning? I can't help but think of that joke. I had heard a joke about spirit guides once where, the guy said, I was at work and I heard this voice really strong in my head that said, sell all your stuff and go to the racetrack, and he goes, so I went and I kept hearing that and I sold all my stuff and I went to the racetrack to wait for my next mission, and he heard, put it all on number 8. And he's like, all right, and I put it on number 8. And he goes, and then, the race starts and, 6 wins, and then the voice in my head goes, oh, crap,
I love that. Well, yeah, but I mean that is very, very funny. And I make similar jokes when I'm on tour because I don't know. But there are other times where I've read so many books. Certainly, there's animal guides, for example, and I definitely know that there's certainly symbolic images mean something to me that I would call my totems. I've been through the whole native ceremony to connect to my totems. So there certainly is traditions that exist if you wanted to explore the idea of spirit guides that have nothing to do with our modern society because we don't have a setup for it, but that really does feel very real when you do it. So, but I do know that our consciousness doesn't die. I've been a medium. I've done work on stage. I've done it in front of 3,000 people on every time, and you can't make that up. I know, I'm
right.
doing it in front of people.
Right.
I didn't and it's accurate. And so I realized that. Well, okay, I really believe today 1,000% that we don't die, and I can connect to the consciousness of someone who's transitioned. But are they our spirit guides? I don't know. Sylvia has her ideas. I've read other books. They have their different ideas. I think really, it's kind of, I think some people adhere to that also because it feels comforting to know that we have a guide or a guardian angel or whatever, So, but who knows?
And thanks for
listening. I got Ollie.
And you got Ollie.